Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a massive, kind of hidden industry that actually thrives on car trouble, the salvage car market. And we're going to dive deep into the undisputed king of the space, a company called Copart, to figure out if it's one of the most brilliant business models you've never even heard of. So, you know the drill. A car gets in a wreck. The insurance company says it's totaled and they cut you a check. But have you ever stopped to think what happens to the actual car? It doesn't just vanish. It actually enters this surprisingly complex, high-stakes global marketplace. Okay, let's get into it. And when I say high stakes, I am not kidding. Just look at this number. We're talking over 4 million vehicles sold by Copart last year. That's the scale we're dealing with. These guys are the absolute giants of the industry, running a well-oiled machine that turns wrecked metal into billions of dollars. Now, to really get what Copart is, the first thing you have to do is just erase that image of a rusty old junkyard from your mind. That is not what this is. This is a high-tech, global operation that completely changed the game. Honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it, a global eBay for damaged cars. Because that's what Copart really is. It's a platform. It connects sellers, who are mostly the big insurance companies, with a huge global network of buyers. We're talking everyone from your local body shop to international exporters, all bidding against each other for these cars in online auctions. And this is where their strategic genius really shines. See, Copart saw where the world was going way before anyone else in their space. They went all in on the internet, moving 100% of their auctions online all the way back in 2003. Think about that. This gave them a decade-long head start on their main competitor and allowed them to build this massive global buyer base that nobody else could touch. Okay, so how does this incredibly powerful digital engine actually make money? Well, the genius of it all is really in its simplicity. So here's the crucial thing to understand. Copart rarely ever owns the cars. It's what's called an asset-light model. The insurance companies basically pay them to handle the whole shebang, towing the car, storing it, and then auctioning it off. Copart just acts as the middleman, and for that, they take a fee from both the buyer and the seller. It usually works out to about 15 to 20% of the final price. This means they have zero inventory risk, and every extra car they sell is almost pure profit. It's just an incredibly scalable and profitable business. Now, when you have a model this efficient, combined with being the top dog in the market, you get to build what investors call an economic moat. But the big question is Copart's fortress truly unbeatable? And just so we're all on the same page, an economic moat is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's the big, deep ditch around your castle, your business, that keeps all the competitors from getting in. It could be a powerful brand, some unique tech, or, in Copart's case, a couple of really, really powerful barriers. We can really break Copart's moat down into two main layers. The first one is digital. It's a powerful network effect. And the second one is very, very physical. So let's look at that first layer. With nearly 1 million members bidding from over 185 countries, Copart simply has the most buyers. And why does that matter? Well, it's simple. More buyers means more bids, which means the cars sell for higher prices. That makes the insurance companies really happy, so they keep sending all their cars to Copart. It creates this amazing virtuous cycle that is almost impossible for a new competitor to break. But Copart's advantage isn't just digital. It's not all happening up in the cloud. The second layer of their moat is way more tangible. We are talking about concrete, steel, and a whole lot of land. Over 19,000 acres, to be exact. To put that into perspective for you, that is bigger than the entire island of Manhattan. And this land isn't just for show. A huge piece of the puzzle is that they own most of it. They don't lease it. This creates an insane barrier to entry. I mean, can you imagine trying to buy that much land in your major cities today? It's impossible. But the real genius is the extra space they keep. When a disaster like Hurricane Harvey hits and floods tens of thousands of cars, Copart uses that spare capacity to help the insurers. They proved their value so well during Harvey that a huge insurance company literally switched a massive contract over to them from a competitor. They turn a crisis into a competitive advantage. It's brilliant. So a great business model and a deep moat are one thing, but it has to show up in the numbers, right? Well, with Copart, it absolutely does. The growth has just been phenomenal. You can see here, revenue has more than doubled in just 7 years, shooting up from $2.2 billion to $4.6 billion. This isn't some sleepy old company. This thing is a growth machine. And the profitability is, frankly, just as impressive.
An operating margin of around 36% is almost unheard of in the automotive world. That's a number you'd expect to see from a hot software company, and it just speaks volumes about how efficient and powerful Copart's platform really is.
And this might be the most impressive number of all. 0 total debt. Not only are they debt-free, but as of 2025, they were sitting on a cash pile of about $4.4 billion. This gives them just incredible financial strength to invest, to grow, or to weather pretty much any storm.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got a dominant market leader, a huge moat, and incredible financials. So from an investment perspective, what's the final verdict?
Well, if you look at both sides, you've got a really powerful bull case built on everything we've just talked about: the network, the land, the financials. The bear case, though, it does raise some really important questions. What happens if their main competitor gets more aggressive? And, what about the biggest long-term threat of them all? What if technology makes cars so safe that major accidents just become a thing of the past? Ultimately, the analysis concludes that the strengths here are just formidable. Copart is a true market leader with advantages that seem like they're built to last. It's run by a proven management team, and it seems really well positioned to keep growing for years to come. Which, of course, brings us to our final big question. For decades, Copart has been a master at navigating change and turning threats into opportunities. But as we head into an age of self-driving cars and incredible driver assistance systems, they face their biggest challenge yet. Will the very same technology that saves lives on the road ultimately be the one thing that can finally break through this company's fortress? That is the billion-dollar question to think about.